Oh no, don't tell me I'm out. Oh, okay. Good morning everyone, Kaye here on my homestead. I am out at 5:35 before sunrise at 5:41, getting a little natural daylight before the sun comes up. And I'll be out after the sun comes up because I'm going down to the lower garden. You know, it's just amazing. Even if you don't have very much rain, the weeds, they go, it's okay, I'm gonna grow anyway. So I was down there a couple of days ago, day before yesterday, and the purslane, oh my goodness, it is a medicinal plant, but boy, if you let that take over. And one year I did, and it was blooming, and now it's a terrible situation. You know, you have to stay on top of it. I should have put weed cloth on the whole lower garden, honestly, but I didn't. And everywhere I didn't, it's this tall. So we're going to get after that this morning, but I just wanted to give you an update on the Three Sisters method. If you're new to this idea, if this is brand new, first of all, hi, I'm Kaye, if you're new here. I live on a little over 9 acres after being an urban gardener for the first 8 years of my channel. This is my 5th growing season, and in Tennessee, my home state, after living in California for 32 years. So that's my backstory. Anyway, I am here and we are mid-season. Some things are done. Some things are just finishing up and that's it. Like that early riser Italian green pole bean, you know, I'm just saving that for seed. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the Three Sisters. So I was not going to grow corn this year because of my troubles with raccoons. You can manage to keep the deer out, but you can't manage to keep the raccoons out. And they're too savvy, they're too smart, and you know. So anyway, but my friend Gina said, you should grow the Three Sisters. And I thought, okay, all right. I tried that once in California in little pots on my driveway. I literally had, I think there were 12 pots on my cloth pots on my driveway. The only available space. I think I managed to grow a couple of winter squash and, you know, a few stalks, maybe got 3 ears of corn, little corns, but you can grow corn in a pot, but it's happiest in the ground. You're talking about a 6-foot plant with the bottom of the stem is that thick. It needs support, it needs a lot of compost and rich soil and fertilizer if you don't have compost or manure. So anyway, I said, okay, I've got good soil in this one area. I'll just do, I think there were 11 mounds that were about 3 feet apart, I think. I got the measurements off the internet. The Three Sisters is from the Native Americans, and they grew their corn, squash, and beans that way, pole beans. And the idea is you plant your corn first and early. Of course, I started this late because she suggested it. I did it right after she suggested it, but it was late. I thought I'll never make knee-high corn by the 4th of July. But I did. It was this high by the 4th of July. So I planted my friend's Sweet Luck corn that he's been developing, and it's way over my head now. And this is July let me just check on that. Oh my goodness, July 18th. So as you saw in the last video, the last garden update, it was way over my head. So now I have corn, a few cobs of corn that are close to being ready, and I have to worry about the raccoons and all of this. But in terms of the Three Sisters, the idea is you plant your corn first, and when it gets to be thigh-high to knee-high, you plant your beans, your pole beans. And you can plant, you know, any kind of pole bean, limas, beans that you're going to harvest fresh, beans that you're going to let dry, and just save seed, to cook dried beans later. Either way. And then after you get your beans started, a couple of weeks, I guess, then you plant your winter squash. Well, by the time this all got the corn just exploded out of the ground. And right now, and then I used older seeds for which was the Indian Worcestershire red pole bean, and that's an heirloom bean I wanted to preserve, and I haven't grown it in a few years, so I wanted to get fresh seeds. So I said, I'll grow that. Well, that's very slow growing down there, so it's only this tall now, and the corn is over my head setting. Now the corn will be there, it's fine. The corn provides the support for the beans. You can have every cob off of the stalks, and the stalks will still be there supporting the pole bean. And then the squash was planted at the base because they put out big leaves which shade and block weeds. So I already had summer squash right next to there, and so I thought, all right, well, I've got that. And then I just never got specific to that squash seeds planted, because when you do the seasonal garden, it's just all of a sudden there's so much weed pressure and so many things happening, and dealing with water and too much rain and ooh, hey. And so I never got specific squash seeds planted for the Three Sisters because I had them nearby, and I thought if these take off, they will put out vines and cover the whole area. And I did plant late. I planted some winter squash. I think it's pumpkins actually right there. That's only about this far from the beginning of the Three Sisters. So if that does well, that will cover the whole area, and that will really help. But timing is everything. It's just, wow. If you had everything just perfectly controlled, but nothing ever is. You try, you do your best, but timing is everything. And I must have gotten the corn in at the perfect time when we got all that rain, and then I was a little late with the beans and quite late with the squash. But guess what? The cucumbers from the trellis I've never had such a what's it called when you win the slots jackpot. I've never had such a jackpot of cucumbers in my life. And I go down there and I'm going, there's 10 that I missed that are too far gone, and there's only so many seeds you want to collect, so, oh my goodness. But the vines are coming down towards the corn, and I wouldn't be surprised if the cucumber is a cucurbit. So I did start them to grow up, the trellis, but they went away, and now they're growing on the ground on both sides. I mean, you would think I planted 25 cucumber plants down there. It's just insane. It's hard to find the tomatoes underneath. So anyway, this is kind of an out of control year. I didn't want it to be, but it just worked out that way. So I will be reporting back when I have my first ripe corn, if I can manage the raccoons, and I'm going to get serious about it. I'll just tell you that right now. Unless I build a corn cage like my friend Daryl is doing. And I really don't want that, but unless I build one, that's really the only way to just protect it and not have to worry, because they simply can't get in. The whole thing is chicken wire, you know. So that's what he's doing, but he's building it this year for next year. I went ahead, I thought, well, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I said I need to go ahead and plant my corn this year and just see if I can, you know, use some methods to keep the raccoons at bay. But I don't know. So that's the update on the Three Sisters, and it's been interesting because the corns, the corn stalks are so close together on that mound. You're supposed to do 4 on a mound. I suppose you could do 3. And they're this big, and they're this far apart. So it's interesting. I've never planted corn that close together that actually did well and got big. So right now you can walk in between them all. And it is helping with weeds, although weeds will have their way, you know. Hi. What do you think? What do you think? Okay. I'm here. Yeah, you're here and I'm here. We're good. Okay, come on in. The wire's off. You can come in. So I hope that is, I would encourage you to try it, because it's a brilliant method, because with your corn, you're providing support for your beans. You don't have to do a trellis. You don't have to build a trellis for your beans. They grow up the corn stalks. And then you don't have to put down weed cloth, because the squash leaves will cover the whole area, and shade, if there's shade, you have less weeds. So that's what's happening over my side garden. The butternut squash just exploded and covered this whole area. But off to the side, where it isn't, the weeds are this tall, even though it hasn't really been raining that much. So at this point, I'm going to have to weed whack those weeds and put down either thick hay or weed cloth, just to get through the season. So that's what we're contemplating today. Weeds, weed cloth, hay, and trying to finish up the driveway garden. I do have help coming. So thanks so much for watching and listening, and I hope I've inspired you in some way, because growing your own food is taking back your own independence, right? And saving your seeds is seed sovereignty. So you want to be able, do you see all the bugs flying around? This is insane. Oh my goodness, it is so humid. It's 300% humidity for sure. And I've got all these little bugs flying. I don't know if you can see, there's 50 flying right in front of my face. Anyway, it's not distracting at all, don't worry. Okay, I hope you have a great day, and I hope I've inspired you. I hope I've inspired you in some way. My helper should be here soon, and we're heading down. Once again, to deal with weeds and harvest. There's a lot of cucumbers down there. God bless, and I'll see you next time.